Okay, I'm back with the 1995 Mirage 1.5 liter Type S. This is going to be the installation of the water pump. I didn't come back for the second part of the removal, but really all it takes is once you get that bottom timing cover off. I went ahead and pulled this motor mount off. It was in the way. It's 14 millimeter, 2 nuts, and a 3/4 for the side over here, and 14 for that nut, and jack the motor up, properly brace the motor with a jack and a board, on top of the jack, and jack the motor up a little bit and get that motor mount out of the way, and you'll have a lot more room to work. If you, this is also the bracket for the motor mount, goes on the side of the motor back here. There's three 14 millimeter bolts and one 12 millimeter bolt and one 12 millimeter nut, which goes right there on that stud. And then you take there's a bolt down here. Might be able to see it better this way. There's a bolt back in here, and there's a bolt right here in between the belt and the tensioner, and then there's a bolt down here on the bottom, and then this bolt, which is the alternator bracket also. That's 12 millimeter bolts, all 12 millimeter. Okay, now the removal is complete, and I've installed the new water pump. There's a rubber O-ring under here. Make sure you replace that, and put a little bit of silicone on the gasket or something to hold it in place while you get the bolts started. And if you come down here, you'll see the crankshaft, what appears to be the crankshaft there. That's when you have the timing belt and everything on, and you always want to check the wear of your timing belt because it's best to replace it. But I just did this one like 5 miles ago, so I didn't replace it again. But the installation is to put the bottom timing cover back on, covers the crankshaft and the harmonic balancer. There's going to be 3 bolts in the bottom timing cover, 10 millimeter, and the harmonic balancer has 4 10 millimeter bolts and a 3/4 bolt. Put all that back on, and then you come up here and you want to put your top timing cover belt on, or your top timing cover on, just 3 10 millimeter bolts. And then your motor mount, of course, you put that back on right there. You can put the water pump pulley on first if you would like. With this motor mount out of the way, it does make it easier. Like, you could hold the pulley to tighten the bolts down. But I usually go ahead and support my motor as quick as possible. I don't like it sitting on a jack. And then after that, you get the motor mount in place, your pulley back on. Then you can put your belt on and adjust your alternator and tighten the belt up, and you're good to go. But I will come back when I'm ready to put the motor mount back on.